Okay, we're gonna go ahead and get started, that way you all can have a slight break between this committee's report and the INSAC. That sound good?
That's really not so much T, all the INT that.
Go south. Yeah. If that guy does that, it'll be.
So we're gonna call the, safety subcommittee meeting to order. And as far as old business goes, and it's the, vehicle markings, you know, the chevrons on the back of everybody's truck. I don't know if all of you or any of you were in the INSAC meeting, at the last one we had, but the subcommittee, for safety recommended that we follow the CAS recommendations on the vehicle markings, which will sort of give us a little bit more leeway on the chevrons if we want to do the battle bird, is that it? Or if we want to do the chevrons, and that was actually made as a formal recommendation to OEMS, through INSAC. And I was told that there was some, that they didn't remember it being made a formal from INSAC, but it was, and I'll show them in a minute, so hopefully that'll get, remedied by OEMS. The next meeting, it'll be done. That the vehicle markings throughout the state, there had been issues with it. Some of the smaller vehicles trying to do the 4-inch wide stripes on the back, you know, that there was problems. So I know whenever this was actually put in to OEMS's policy originally, I was part of INSAC then, and butted heads with the current director of OEMS, which is not Melissa. Melissa's been really good to work with. Not that the other one was bad, but Melissa's been really receptive and to us, our recommendations as far as INSAC goes. So hopefully I'll be able to bring that back to you all as actual policy from OEMS at the next meeting. What we are currently, as far as, does anybody have any questions on this? I'm just brief on it.
I vote for CAS.
It just makes it a little bit, I mean, it was either that or NFPA, and I think it should be left more up to the individual squads. I mean, if we want to, we'll be able to do an outline of the trucks instead of just reflective markings on the back. So it's going to be left up more to the individual squads. New business that we are tackling is pediatric safety, and I've got two of the subcommittee members with me on that. We've got quite a few documents that were presented to us over the last week from Vicki Hildreth with is everybody familiar with Vicki? Yeah, she's great. And she can't be here because she's taking additional training, but hopefully she'll be at the next meeting, and hopefully we'll be able to present a little bit more on what we're going to recommend on pediatric safety. As an administrator of a company, I try to look at cost, because if you want recommendations or if OEMS is going to put an unfunded mandate on us, then we kind of need to know how much it's going to cost. And it's per squad, per truck. I mean, so we'll have a breakdown on it. And I know that's something I actually put out to all the members on the subcommittee. What's the cost? And is there any way to offset that cost? Is there grants out there and things like that? So hopefully we'll be able to report back on anything that we have. Any questions on this? Any suggestions?
Can you list like what type of safety devices you're talking about? Like beyond the tarp thing you put on the stretcher? ED, thank you.
Well, Paul, honestly, what I read briefly on it last week was, it really wasn't anything major. It's like if the child really doesn't have serious injuries and are already in the car seat, just go ahead and strap the car seat down. You know, just recommendations like that, which wouldn't cost anything to the providers. So, no. Other than that, I can't. But if you have any suggestions, please let me know.
Yeah, it's-
Some things that we're gonna be looking at in the future, which we may end up having to visit some of these quicker than others. I know it's been brought up as far as the bulletproof vest, which, I don't know if everyone's familiar, but there is a bill going up in the session right now that's, gonna allow providers, EMS providers to possibly carry weapons if they have concealed weapons permit. So, I mean, I feel like if that does pass, the next thing will be the bulletproof vest. It's like, if it does pass. With that being said, Thursday is EMS day at the legislature, so I encourage everybody to attend, try to see your legislative, representatives and make your voice known on some of the bills that are actually going to affect us. And that is one of them, and it's went a lot farther, a lot faster than I thought it would.
Do you know what the number of that bill is?
No, I sure don't. Does anybody know the number of that bill?
Yeah, I've got it. The Senate just approved it,
Two nine one six.
Yeah, 2916.
So you have that, 2916?
Is that the Kerry bill?
Yeah, that's a great bill.
I'm sorry, Paul, what?
Yeah, that was the Kerry bill. Just a quick couple of comments on it. One, the agency, even if the bill passes, or if the bill passes, it's up to the agency to then determine whether they want their people carried, okay? So there's kind of a caveat, it isn't just that, you know, everybody gets to. Second, you have to have the concealed carry permit, and then that language, which I don't know, they said that you have to have training that matches the state police training. And I'm thinking, that's kind of a different bar than, you know, I don't know what the state police training is. I don't know, you have to shoot 10,000 rounds a year or something like that. I don't know what that is exactly. So I think it'll be much more stringent. You would think the state police probably have something more stringent than others.
What I was told by that bill is that particular language was just simply meant that you had to qualify each year.
Okay. Anyway, I'm going to hold the rest of the comments back because I know all you people with guns are going to shoot me. The interesting part about it, from a safety standpoint, because this is a safety committee, is if I was on the truck and my partner decided he was going to carry, it isn't that I don't like to shoot, but I would rather just look scared and get out. I've always thought that I might survive better. Because I can look really scared if I need to. And if I'm non-threatening, it might be there. But we worked a 2-year-old, there was twin boys, and drugs involved and everything else, and the dad basically, you know, kicked the kid until he died. And the other one was hiding, and the 8 people in the house. And so I'm sitting there looking at our crews going, okay, well that was definitely a dangerous scene. Law enforcement was kind of there, but there was only one of them, and this is a big sprawling house. And they said, well, see, that's why we need guns. And I'm like, all right, so are they strapped to your ankle so when you're bending over doing CPR, everybody else has better access, or in your back, you know, in your belt line, then everybody else has got more access to the guns than they do. And then third, I sat there and said, well, if my partner has a gun, then I have to have a gun. Because I don't know what he's going to do, you know, because I just kind of want to talk my way out and get out and not fight with anybody. But it does change your mentality sometimes of, well, I got a gun and you just did this horrible thing to this very beautiful little kid. And it may change it. So for those that are going to do it, and I know a lot, whatever, I'm not going to say that. But anyway, that those that have it. But then you heard what the safety committee said, well, the next thing I get is bulletproof vest. Well, the second problem we have is law enforcement doesn't come to these scenes now. We've got to wait on them for a long time. They can shoot somebody. We can't shoot only if we're in totally defensive mode. And I think there's gonna be more times to go, well, you guys are armed, so you go out and check the domestic out, and if we hear gunfire, we'll come back you up. And so, I don't know. I think you have to look at it, but that is up to each agency. And I think there's good reasons for it, but there is some consideration with it. I think those people have to be controlled in that uncontrolled environment. It's different than in your house. You're going into somebody else's house. So I think that whole save your castle thing doesn't necessarily work on this either.
First thing that's gonna happen is what's happening with law enforcement right now. There's gonna be a firefighter or an EMT or paramedic that's gonna go out here and play Johnny Healing. I'm not saying that they shouldn't protect themselves, I'm hardly in favor of that. They're gonna shoot first, ask questions later, and we're gonna be on national news as the EMT or the paramedic or the firefighter that killed somebody, and you know that the family's gonna come out of the woodwork, even though that person was in the wrong. And we're gonna be national stigma. That's what's gonna happen, because it's did to law enforcement. Law enforcement's paying big time right now, and that's what's gonna happen to us because of this bill.
There's lots of variables with this. I'm not gonna tell you I'm for it, I'm not gonna tell you I'm against it. I'm just asking and letting you all know, in case you didn't know, that Thursday is EMS Day at the legislature. So please, in case you get to Charleston, at least call your representatives and let them know how you feel. Anything else? If not, I'm calling this meeting adjourned, and you guys have a break unless if you wanna come back, MSAC starts at 1.